and we're able to restart the cycles of nature. That's what I've done on my farm. And could you please show that water video for me, please? This is one cycle of nature, but I want to talk a little bit about how they all tie together.
And is this your farm?
It is my farm.
Okay.
Well, it's my farm and a neighbor's. That's coming off my farm, and that's coming off a neighbor's farm. You see that?
Oh, boy. Yeah. So your farm, the water runoff is clear.
All right.
Their farm, the water runoff is a very muddy, dark brown. That's crazy.
So what we're seeing is there's
a lot of reason for that.
Pivot of corn.
Make Spencer shut up if you don't mind. So that water, that's my neighbor.
Right.
That's across the road from White Oak Pastures. Mm-hmm. And they're good. They're good people. They're fine people. They're my relatives. They're good people. But they farm their land very conventionally, or someone does.
So what is in that water that's causing it to be that color?
Well, there's no good news, but the good news is subsoil. The topsoil is gone. Topsoil is
because of the way they've been running their farm.
Yeah,
the topsoil's gone. So that's all subsoil.
But on top, see, that was corn, and it's not unusual to put several hundred pounds of chemical fertilizer per acre on corn. So that a lot of that several hundred pounds of chemical fertilizer is in that water as well.
Oh, geez.
It's also very common to use, in fact, ubiquitous to use herbicide, insecticide, some fungicides on that. So those sides are in that water too.
And there's no consequences to that stuff going in the water? No financial consequences? You don't get in trouble for that?
No. If it was a construction site, you'd be in trouble. But
so do fish live on your side of the river and not downriver? Because it looks like those fish.
I can't.
That is like the craziest line. Like when you look at the line there, the line of the mark between your land and his land, it's about as clear as it gets. Like literally, no pun intended. Your side is clear water. His side is disgusting.
All right, so let me answer the fish question.
Okay.
I have not done fish studies, but that water goes to Apalachicola Bay, to the Flint River or Chattahoochee River, and they both come together. Ultimately, they come out in the Apalachicola Bay of the Gulf of Mexico. There you go. There's a picture of my farm on the left, that same farm you just saw on the right.
Jesus.
So Apalachicola Bay used to be famous for its oysters, just wonderful oysters. But they have banned oystering in Apalachicola Bay because the numbers are down. So an unintended consequence of that is the death of the fishery in Appalachia. And an oyster purifies 50 gallons of water a day. That's what an oyster, you know how they work, that filtration system, right? So not only do we not have good Apalachicola Bay oysters to eat, we're also missing out on that benefit. I'll say one more word about that. You talked about the quality of the water, the muddy versus not. What you couldn't know is the quantity. So I'm not sure exactly how big the watershed is from that coming off my farm, but probably a couple of thousand acres. And I'm not sure how big the watershed coming off my neighbors, but probably a couple of hundred acres. So not only is the quality way different, but the quantity. So
it's pouring out. You can see it pouring out.
All right, let me explain that to you. So that's the water cycle. Now the carbon cycle, right? All these cycles work together. So because of the way we've managed my land for the last 25 years, my organic matter in my soil is 5%. You can look on my website, whiteoakpastures.com, under the land stewardship tab, and there is a LCA, life cycle assessment, that was done on my farm. It'll show that over the last 20 years, the organic matter on my farm has gone from 0.5% to 5%. And every bit of that carbon came from greenhouse gases that were put through my ruminant animals and back out. More about that in a minute. But the reason for the water is 1% organic. An acre of rain on an inch of rain on an acre of land is about 27,000 gallons of water. If it rains 1 inch on an acre, that's 27,000 gallons of water. 1% organic matter will absorb a 1 inch rain event. Because my land's over 5% organic matter, I can absorb a 5 inch rain event if it comes slowly. Well, not in 30 minutes, but if it comes slowly. The land that you saw, my neighbors, would be about a 0.5% organic matter. So it can't.
0.5%.
Yeah, that's what mine used to be. That's a function of industrial farming.
And how did you turn it around?
Animal impact. Period. Animal impact.
And and this is what you learned from the savory method?
Correct.
And so, like, how long did it take for you to do that? It seems like
20 years.
20 years for it to be where it's at now.
Correct.
And it's a slow, gradual process of improvement?
It is.
Wow. So you got to be very committed to that because it's costing you money. It's like you're 30 plus or somewhere in the neighborhood of 30% less productive in terms of...
Yeah.
And then on top of that, this is a long-term investment to take this industrialized property and turn it into what it is now. Wow.
Which harkens back to your question about why don't my neighbors...
Of course. It's too much work.
There's the answer.
Yeah, there's the answer.
And expense and risk.
And you have to be ideologically committed to doing it that way.
You do.
To justify doing it.
You have to have a very generational view of things.
Yeah.
If you view like most business people, including farmers, is what we learn in accounting, the quarterly report or the annual report.
Yeah.
You'd never do this.
No.
But if you have a generational view, which is easy for us because we're 6 generations on the farm, then it becomes more tolerable.